Good afternoon. This is Nicholas Sevilla. Most people in the teaching industry call me Mr. Sevilla, but we're going to start off here on my Symbaloo page. So the basis of the Symbaloo page was if I was the tech lead at my school and I was trying to have new teachers try to integrate different aspects of technology into their classroom, what tools would I use to get them to slowly become more comfortable with the ideas of technology in their room. So my four little quadrants you see that I have in my Symbaloo represent the four different areas of the SAMR model. So in the top left, we have the substitution tools, where teachers could assess students through various different methods. And we're actually going to focus later on this Quizizz tool. We'll get into that in a minute. My bottom left is my augmentation tools. So these are tools or sites that allow students to kind of pace themselves and explore and learn the material, and for the teacher to be able to differentiate tasks and topics. In the top right over here, we have the modification tools. So some of these tools allow students to manipulate and play with different variables and things to kind of explore and expand on their learning. And then in the bottom right corner over here, we have the redefinition tools, where students could work either collaboratively or individually and display the different aspects of their learning. I'm somewhat familiar with almost all these tools, but the one I want to focus on today is Quizizz. So let's click that. So those of you that are unfamiliar with Quizizz, Quizizz is very similar to another assessment tool known as Kahoot. Kahoot is a website where you create multiple choice assessments, and students are able to participate either as a team or individually and answer questions in an allotted time. They receive points for getting questions right and how fast they get it right. It's a great way to kind of assess students in a more fun and modern way than pen to paper quizzes. But Quizizz, there are a couple things about Quizizz that I like that Kahoot does not offer. So I've already logged in, but you can log in with your Gmail account that's associated with the school. So I've already done that. So let's say we're going to create a Quizizz, okay? So let's go up to create, in the top left. So let's see, enter quiz name, practice quiz. I can't spell. Practice quiz, we'll say it's in English, it's public. Do we want to add a quiz image? Sure, we'll say it's clever. There we go. Just throw an image on there. Okay, got our practice quiz. So, just like Kahoot, you can create your own questions. So we'll start simple. What is 2 times 2? Right? Very similar. And you have all your multiple choice answers. And you can see it on the right side over here. This is what the screen would look like to a student. Okay. One of the things that I really like about Quizizz that you aren't able to do on Kahoot is this bar up here that says search for questions. So I can go up here and I can search through any quizzes that's ever been created on the site. I can search for a topic and pull questions from other quizzes that people have created. So we'll do another rational number question. Give that a search. And then all these quizzes come up, and you're able to click on them and preview these questions. They're all going to be multiple choice questions. You're able to preview them, and it shows you what they would look like. It shows you all the choices, all the answers. And you see this plus sign. You're able to add it to your quizzes, and it'll show up here. So let's say I like this question about the Venn diagram. I want to add it to my quizzes. Boom, right over on the left side. Now it's part of my quizzes. I want to pull some other questions just in case. We'll add a few. I like this one. Yeah, I'll probably add one more. So now I'm expanding my quizzes base to mix in with the questions that I plan on having in my quizzes as well. So let's close this out. Let's say you pulled a question and there was just, a part that you didn't necessarily like about it. Let's go to this question. And I say I wanted to change something. I'm able to change the question. I'm able to change the answers. I can change which one is correct. I can do anything with the question, but it's nice to get the framework from another quizzes rather than reinventing the wheel hundreds of times. What's also great about quizzes is the range of time is more vast than Kahoot. So Kahoot, I believe, ranges from 10 seconds to 120 seconds. So you're only getting here to here, whereas in quizzes you've got 5 and up to 15 minutes for if you have a really extensive word problem that you want them to work through. There's a much bigger time range. So let's say I like this quiz. We're done. I'm gonna finish, and then it asks you for grade range and the subject, so that when people search for quizzes to pull your questions from, they're able to find them more easily. So let's finish that. We'll say so that's one thing that I like about quizzes. You can also assign your quizzes for homework as well, and set it as an assignment rather than only having it as a tool where you are doing it in class live. You can assign it as a homework, and the students can take the quiz at home on their own devices, which is also great. We're going to I'll give you an example of what it's like to play quizzes now. Let's go to one that I have already created. Unit 3, Topic 1, Formula Review. Perfect. Oh, I need to add an image up here. Very sad. Okay. Similar to Kahoot, students need another device in which they can play on, whether it's a phone, a tablet, a Chromebook, a laptop, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open this screen down here. Hello. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on the phone device. Right? Okay. So let's play live. You can jumble the questions, jumble the answers, show answers, all the stuff that you can kind of do in Kahoot as well. You cannot do group quizzes, though. You can have students work together on one device, but you can't. There's no group or team function like there is before you start a Kahoot. So let's proceed. So my quizzes is getting started. I'm already on the site on my phone, so it's going to ask for the 6-digit code. Let's enter that, 471303. Okay, I'm going to proceed. Ask you for a nickname. I'm just going to say Nick. It assigns you a random character, which is kind of just, interesting. Doesn't have anything special, but, it's just a little more interesting. So, one thing that I really like about quizzes that's different than Kahoot. So all the questions have a time limit on them, right? So my question just came up on my phone, and I have this little bar at the top, and it's going down because I'm getting less points the more time that I take. But quizzes is completely individualized for each person taking it. So there's no rush like in Kahoot to be the first one to answer the question. Or if you are the first one to answer the question in Kahoot, sometimes you can end up sitting there and just waiting, and it gives you a chance to go off task or visit other sites, or not doing what you're supposed to do. Quizzes is completely individually paced, so that doesn't really happen. So on my phone, I've got my question. I'm going to take a guess. Boom. Boom. Got it right. Hits you with a funny little meme. You get a question right, you get a question wrong. It's a little motivational meme for you. Kids also really enjoy that as well. And as you can see on the screen, my name here, I have this little green bar. So if there was more than one person in this Quizizz, you'd be able to see everyone in it, and you'd be able to see how they're doing. Green is correct, red is incorrect. And as a teacher, another great feature is all the questions are posted here. So I had the questions randomized for each student, so it's not a capability for them to be able to cheat. But so I can look at each individual question and see, oh, one person got this question right. All the other questions, people haven't gotten to this question yet, so the question is still gray. But let's say I have a class of 20 kids, and this question is, 17 green and 3 red. That means that 85% of my class has got this question correct. And I know that I don't have to go and reassess it, right? Which is another great instant feedback feature of Quizizz that I really like. Let's do one more question. We're gonna put the phone up. We're just gonna pick one, I guess. Boom. 0 points. Oh, funny meme though. Makes me feel better. So I'll end the game. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. So as a teacher, once I'm done with the quizzes, I can export the results, and I can hold on to the results and kind of analyze the data. It shows everyone up here at the end. Again, I'm the only one in the quizzes, so you're only able to see mine, and I only did 2 questions. But I like using quizzes in most cases if I really want to collect data, because it allows students to work at their own pace. They don't feel rushed, or they don't feel as competitive. Whereas in Kahoot, that's like the primary objective, is to get more points and get it correct fast and be the top of the leaderboard. That's a secondary objective in quizzes, where you're more focused on working through the problems at your own pace and really trying to get the answers, and the score is kind of secondary to you. It's not something that you are focused on. So I'm going to export these results. It gets me an Excel file. Download that. So I'm going to go look at the data and see what questions I need to reassess. That was Quizizz. Just one of the many options that I have for new teachers here on my Symbaloo. So, thanks.